Good evening and welcome to the May 12th, 2021, 6:15 p.m. open session meeting of the Ayer Planning Board. At the outset of the meeting, I've been asked to read the following message from Governor Baker. Due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, Governor Baker issued an emergency order temporarily suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law. Public bodies otherwise governed by the open meeting law are temporarily relieved from the requirement that meetings be held in public places, open and physically accessible to the public, so long as measures are taken to ensure public access to the body's deliberations through adequate alternative means. This meeting will be broadcast live on Channel 8 and on Zoom. The public may participate remotely by following the call-in information on the bottom of the live broadcast screen. For the Zoom meeting information relating to remote participation, please contact Cindy Knox, IT Director at cknox@ayer.ma.us or 978-772-8220 extension 150, or Heather Hampson, Administrative Coordinator at hampson@ayer.ma.us or 978-772-8220 extension 144 prior to the meeting. Thank you very much. Another thing I'm going to mention is we are short one member right now. Mr. King is en route to the meeting and will be joining us hopefully in the next 15 minutes or so. With that being said, I'd like a motion. Actually, I'm going to ask you to hold off on that. I want to say congratulations to Ken Diskin and Julie Murray. Thank you for running and congratulations. And it was not lost on me who got more votes in this last election. But congratulations and thank you both. And so that everybody knows, both Ken and Julie were duly sworn in today by the town clerk. They jumped through some hoops to make sure they got it done in order for our meeting to be kosher. With that said, next is to approve the agenda. May I have
Make a motion
please?
that we approve the agenda for the May 12th, 2021 Air Planning Board meeting.
Thank you. May I have a second, please?
Second.
Moved by Mr. Krantz, seconded by Mr. Diskin. Any discussion? I believe Mark has something he'd like to say.
Yes, Chairman Tillotson, there was a request by the representatives for the Shaker Mill Pond subdivision to discuss the covenant and surety for that. Since we're able to be joined by Robin Stein from KP Law regarding some new developments in the development of the covenant and surety. So I believe that we could take that up, fairly quickly. So if it's okay with the board, if we could take that first.
Do we have any discussion from the board members about that?
Fine by me.
Thank you. So hearing none, so I'm willing to remove the item review Shaker Mill Pond subdivision Shaker Road covenant and surety to the first order of business after our agenda. Okay. Anything else from people? Hearing none, Mr. Diskin, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Krantz?
Aye.
Ms. Murray?
Aye.
Thank you, and the chair votes aye. So welcome, Ms. Stein, to our meeting this evening. And if you don't mind, Mark, can you give us a quick synopsis of where we stand on this, please?
Yes, as you know from the last meeting, Attorney Alan Shockett, who's also in the meeting, is the attorney for Dan Aho, and he was working on developing the covenant and cash escrow document for the planning board to satisfy the surety requirement and the conditions of approval for the subdivision. And at the last meeting, we did review drafts of both of those documents. And as of this morning, I received a new version of the document, which I had just seen today. And, I believe KP Law has been reviewing it with Attorney Shockett, and they would like to update us on that.
Thank you.
So, I think it'd be best to turn it over to them.
Okay. Every time I look up at the screen, the squares move. Good evening, Mr. Shockett. Thank you for joining us.
Good evening.
I guess you guys have been talking directly between Ms. Stein and Mr. Shockett?
No, well, I had spoken with Jonathan Murray,
Okay.
who had indicated that he was going to be editing the documents. I haven't seen the version that you're referring to, Robin. I don't know that I have. I haven't spoken with you about this yet.
Okay,
It sounds like there might be a bit of miscommunication. Jonathan has been dealing with Attorney Shockett. We were asked to attend the meeting, I believe, either yesterday afternoon or this morning. Unfortunately, he had a conflict, so
Mhm.
I said I would dial in, and that way I could at least answer any questions. that the
That's
board-
great. Jonathan had indicated that he was going to create some edits to the documents, and then I wasn't clear whether it was coming directly to me or going to Mark and then to me for review.
Gotcha.
So whatever it is, it's fine. I mean, we'll work it out.
Okay, I was,
But,
yeah, excuse me, I was under the impression that, you were okay with the document, that it had been reviewed by both you and KP before it came to me this morning. I would have sent it to you immediately had I.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Right.
Well, I apologize for the confusion on that one. We did make changes and submitted a document to Mark that reflects a covenant that's acceptable to us in form. But it's like perhaps Attorney Shockett needs an opportunity to see that. And then as long as his folks are okay with it, it would be something that the board could vote to accept.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, please, Mr. Diskin.
can you share your screen, Robin, with that document? I did see it, but
I can't from where I'm viewing this. Mark, are you able to?
I may be able to, I have to minimize the screen here so I can get to email,
Okay,
which,
I could try. Actually.
It looks to me like you have permission, Robin.
All right, well, let me see if I'm able to. Hold on.
I want to apologize that the document wasn't forwarded to you, Alan.
No
this morning
problem.
when it arrived. No, we seem to have breakdowns in communications, and given the constraints of the Zoom meeting, we need to be a little more attentive.
I apologize for that. That I didn't realize
Yeah.
where things were going. So let me see if I can pull this up. Is that
Thank you very much. There you go. Okay.
okay?
Ah,
All right.
Ah.
So again, we revised this to be very similar to kind of the standard covenant that we often recommend. Obviously, as in any town, there are items that are, project specific and town specific.
Thank you.
So I don't know. Sorry, I'm probably going fast there. I can go through kind of what it says generally if it's helpful to the board.
Let me ask this. Let me make this request, please. Mr. Shockett, you can see that, and are you able to look at it and compare it to what you have? I don't want to put you on the spot, sir.
yeah, I was about to say, to be honest with you, I'm sure it'll be great. I certainly don't want to do this on the fly.
Okay.
What would make sense to me would certainly, if we can get the planning board approval, subject to mutual agreement on the content of the document. That would be wonderful. There is another issue to talk about once we get done with this.
Okay.
But we'll get to it. Got it.
Thank you. So,
Mr. Chair,
yes, please, Mr. Krantz.
I think it'd be most productive if Ms. Stein just walked us through the changes, the highlights, rather than the entire document.
it's like a whole
Well-
document on its own.
Is it?
It's undergone a number of revisions, and we don't have it in track form here, so it would be a bit of a challenge to me on the.
Oh, I see. I thought it was all track changes. Okay.
No,
So-
it was a clean version of what we recommended.
Okay, I appreciate that, and I'm sorry that you're getting hustled along, guys. But we are up against a time constraint. I'd like to make the following recommendation. Mr.
I got a
Shockett?
comment though on it.
Mhm.
Yes, Mr. Diskin, can you hold for a moment, please, Mr.
Yeah.
Diskin? I would like to make this recommendation. Mr. Shockett, you've expressed that you're willing to work on this to get it done, and many of the things have already been acceptable to you. You also have said there's another issue that you want to discuss. I don't know if has any bearing on the covenant or not.
Well, yeah, I just
So
want
before I ask
I'm
the
sorry.
board to make a decision on the covenant, I'd like to ask what you have to say so we can make an informed decision. And I also ask Mr. Diskin to make a comment also when you're done.
when we spoke about this 2 weeks ago, it seemed to me that there were two things that had to be dealt with. One was to go through the process with KP Law, edit the document and make it comfortable for town council. The second issue was the board had asked that we consult the building inspector to make
Yes.
sure that the building inspector was comfortable with with the model homes that Dan wants to build on lots 2 and 4 of the subdivision. Dan spoke with the building inspector, and the building inspector indicated that he didn't want any models being built until the water and sewer line is hooked up to the site. Okay, so that is in process, but we're probably 30 days away from that being completed. So he indicated that once that hookup is in, he's perfectly happy to have the models, but that is a condition precedent to his issuing a building permit for those 2 model homes that we were looking for. And I just wanted to make the board aware that we did have that discussion with him, and that was the his take on the matter.
Great, I appreciate that. So I don't know that has anything thank you. Mr. Diskin, what was your comment, please?
Well, I did take a look at it. and
Stop sharing for a minute.
Yes, thank
So
you.
you
I'll
can see
leave it.
folks.
Leave it.
Oh,
Oh, no, leave it,
Okay.
please, yeah.
So I did look at it. I thought it was very thorough, maybe a very first-class piece of work compared to what we've seen maybe in the past. And I had only one question. That was on number 11, if you'd go to that.
Sure.
I tried to shave you, Robin, from Mr. Diskin's pen, but you know.
So
No, of course.
I know, I'm kidding. I'm trying to bring some levity into the moment.
most every place in the document, you seem to refer to the owners and the planning board. And then in 11, it talks about a grantee. The deed of any part of the subdivision in violation of the covenant shall be voidable by the grantee. But I'm not sure you defined who the grantee was.
Well, it would be the grantee of the deed.
So that's,
This comes, out of the statute itself. It would be the person who received the deed.
okay. So that's fine the way it is. It doesn't have to refer to like the owner of the planning board or anybody else, I guess, just the person holding the deed.
No, it doesn't need to.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thanks, Ken.
I mean,
Yes,
I
please.
could, through you, Mr. Chair, I could make one recommendation, which is that, and I'm not sure what time constraints necessarily apply to the covenant being finalized, but it may make sense to, put this on for your next meeting for a final approval. And that way Attorney Shaka can review it between now and then. I'm sure we can get everything. Now that I understand how things are flowing with this, I'm sure we can get everything finalized, and address any of his questions or concerns for then. But if you're going to do a preliminary review or approval tonight and anything changes, you would likely need to do it again anyway.
Mhm.
And so,
Mr. Shaka, do you have something, a comment, please?
We're certainly, trying to get this done as quickly as we can.
of course,
If there's any way that we can get the approval this evening, subject to mutual satisfaction with the document, it would be a positive step.
I mean, certainly if the board is inclined, they could approve the form of it tonight. But if Attorney Shaka needed anything changed, likely they would have to come back and approve the change. So
Yep. Which
extent
is
nothing
fine.
needed to change, and that would be fine.
May I get some input from the board on this? How do you feel?
And I just want to note, and I don't know,
Yes,
full informational items. I think we needed an application date filled in. Those items can be,
yeah, I saw them. I saw this as informational and.
yep. And then
yeah,
just, there
and-
was a question in paragraph 12 about whether 5 years is the right amount of time for the completing the road construction. So we would just have the board confirm
Right.
that. I think that was it.
Yes, I believe the 5 years is correct, and I also have the date. One thing I wanted to mention in my brief conversation with Mr. Murray from KP this morning, he indicated that the timing of the escrow, which would come into effect after the covenant is released, might change a little bit due to the need, to supply water and utilities for the model homes. And so the timing of that escrow might be in question. So that's something I just wanted the board to be aware of, that, that might change a little bit based on what we discussed previously.
So Mark,
Would
if
you
I
like
can
me to
try.
just,
Yes,
Oh, go ahead.
please. No, I was going to clarify it. What you're basically saying is he can't, the building department is disinclined to grant any building permits until water and sewer is on the property. So we're going to
Correct.
wait. So we're going to wait for water and sewer to be brought to the property before the building permits are granted. The escrow needs to be in place at the time the building permits are granted, correct?
That's my
That-
understanding, but
Yes,
that's.
so-
that's-
So ordinarily, what we see happen is when there's an initial covenant put in place for a subdivision, at such time as the developer is ready to start putting foundations or buildings on a lot, they might come in and post an escrow to release either just those lots from the covenant, if it makes sense, if the road is just up to those lots, or to release the entire covenant and then just secure the remainder of the work. We usually see that second to the covenant.
Mhm.
And so at such time as the developer is ready to start building, then we can put an agreement together, a security agreement that'll spell out how the escrow is going to be held and how it's going to work and when it'll be released and the amount of the escrow and all the terms that need to go along with the escrow. Because obviously 4181U leaves it to the developer to choose the type of security they want to post and certainly lets them swap it out from time to time.
Mhm.
They're ready to do that. They can come in and we can get that agreement in place as well.
Okay.
Yeah,
thank
Robin,
you.
what we were hoping to do, which we had discussed at the last meeting, was to get the models going with the covenant on the land before the escrow had been established. We figured there's going to be some lead time to get that all done. And which is why we wanted the covenant to be put in place in the first place. So we could begin the models without putting the town at risk.
In my opinion, I don't think that you can start building under a covenant without an escrow. The statute prohibits any erection of permanent structures.
Yeah, Robin,
Without an
if I
escrow.
may, I believe they wanted the covenant in place and they were going to transfer funds to the town in the escrow to start the process.
And that's what I'm saying. And so as
Yeah.
long as the escrow is in place and the security agreement is in place, you can
Yes.
release those lots from the covenant.
Yep.
But what Attorney Shockett's saying is they wanted to get started on the model.
Models.
Yes.
Just on the models, yeah.
Again, I mean, those
Um,
are permanent structures. So generally, we don't see any building under a covenant. I think you would want to get that agreement in place, and we should be able to put that together fairly quickly. Usually, the thing that takes the most time on the security agreements is between the applicant and the town confirming the amount of the cost of the work and the amount that's being posted and secured.
Yep.
The documents themselves from our end are fairly easy to put together.
Good.
Then
Okay.
if I may, I think we're trying to put the cart before the horse we're trying to put the cart before the horse and the horse before the cart in this situation, if I can characterize it that way. Mr. Archambault will not be available for a short period of time starting tomorrow. He'll be out of town. In order to keep this moving, I would ask that the attorneys, Stein and Mr. Shockett, communicate directly with each other. Please copy Mr. Archambault on it. But also, I'm going to ask Mr. Archambault to make sure he forwards my email address to you all, so somebody is also in the loop. Okay,
I'm sorry, if I may, I apologize. I can't see who's speaking at the moment.
that's me, Jeff Tillotson, the chair. If you
Oh,
want to unshare the
thank you.
document, please unshare the document, and
Okay.
we'll do that.
Mhm.
Yeah,
you. I apologize.
Ms. Stein, I have to
Zoom
apologize.
meetings.
It drives me crazy because I have multiple screens right now, and I have to remind people to just start talking. I will acknowledge you, because I can't see hands going up and on the screen. So to repeat what I was saying, if you guys would get the document back and forth, please
Mhm.
keep Mark Archambault in the loop. He probably won't be responding, and also include my address. I believe you
Will do.
have it. If not, we'll make sure you can get it. Mark, I'd ask you so I don't have to type while I'm talking. We can get it to them right now. That'd be very, very helpful. And I'll work with the town. Both Mark and our other office people are away for the next couple of days, but we have no desire to slow this down at this point. Fair enough?
So I think we can certainly, help get things done
Great.
quick.
My expectation is that there's maybe a couple of odds and ends, but nothing substantive is going to change from what you've drafted, Robin.
Yep.
So
That's
that'll be
great.
fine.
So we will be picking this up at the next meeting. I'm also going to start putting times on the agenda. And by the time the next meeting comes, you'll know when you're going to be in front of us during the meeting. So I don't invite you to sit through the whole, you get my drift. Let's start using time.
I
Okay?
mean, not to step in, the only thing I'd say about those is sometimes it makes you wait when you put times on. Because you can't take anything. But
Yep, I'm good. I'm real good. I'm real good
Okay.
about this. So I
All right.
appreciate that. Thank you very much. And
No problem.
yeah, by all means, keep me in the loop. And if anything does come up, we'll be in touch. But it sounds like we've got a lot of work going forward and a lot of people pulling yours in the right direction. Let's just get us something we can sign and move forward with. Okay.
And when is your
Thank
next
you.
meeting?
Our next meeting is in 2 weeks from yesterday. That would be,
May 25th.
thank you, May 25th at 6:15 at this point.
Great, thank you.
Thank you very much. Good evening. And I'm sorry, is there anybody in the public who wants to opine on the Chicken Mill Pond subdivision covenant and surety? Thank you. No, I just want to make sure the public gets a chance to speak. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Good to meet you all.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Thanks for all your work, guys. Next on our agenda is the continued public hearing, special permit and site plan review for 1 Nemco Way, Catania, Spania. Mr. Krantz, may I ask you
Yes,
to
I
do the
make a
magic?
motion. I'd like to make a motion that we continue the public hearing for the special permit for 1 Nemco Way, Catania, Spania Oils.
Second.
Thank you. I moved and seconded. Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none. Mr. Krantz, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Diskin?
Aye.
Mr. King?
Aye.
Ms. Murray?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Thank you very much. Mr. Krantz, would you do the other ones? We can do
I'd
them. Thank
I'd
you.
like to make a motion for continued site plan review for 1 Nemco Way, Catania, Spania Oils.
Second.
Thank you. I'm going to give that one to Ms. Murray. How's that? Okay. Thank you very much. Ms. Murray, how do you vote?
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Krantz.
Aye.
Mr. King?
Aye.
Mr. Diskin?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Welcome, gentlemen. Thank you very much for your patience in the last few minutes, and sorry about the upset on the agenda order. I seem to not be able to keep track of my agendas from meeting to meeting, and I promise you, this is a problem I've decided to solve. I may be unsuccessful, but I'm going to solve it. How do we want to start?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. Paul Chisholm with Keach Nordstrom Associates. For the record, we're the engineers and surveyors for the record for the project. Joined tonight by Scott Whitney of CBS, who's the design builder, Joe Basile, Dan Brackett, and Robert Michalski. And I apologize, Robert, if I screwed your name up there, but all those folks are from Catania. Really, I don't know that there's a whole lot to catch you up on since the last time we met about 2 weeks ago. We did receive a formal engineering response letter based on DPW's second review of the project. I think you all probably should have a copy of that. Basically, I think the tone of the letter is there's a few small technical items to figure out and sort out, but he doesn't see the need to kind of delay an approval any further and suggests a conditional approval would be perfectly acceptable to him in his letter. We had a chance to speak with him over the last week, kind of as he was going through the plans and worked out a lot of the details. Really just more not changing things, but just answering questions and providing him with a little bit more detail in terms of what the plan revisions were. The other item, I think there was one piece of homework that I had written down from last time, which was to check into the landscaping regulations to verify that you didn't need to have a certain number of like landscaped islands in between spaces. There is no requirement for that. Basically, the requirements are all based around how much pavement you have. And there's a certain percentage of things and calculations based off of those square footages, but it's not so much, if you have 50 spaces in a row, you have to put in a landscaped island and then, break it up like that. It's really just more about the cumulative total of landscaping proposed. So I can verify that the plan that we proposed does meet that regulation. Beyond that, I think at this point, we're really hoping for conditional approval of this. I know tomorrow we should be receiving the order of conditions from the Conservation Commission, which would be our last local approval as well. So I guess with that being said, we're all here and happy to answer whatever remaining questions you have, and look forward to discussing whatever you think is left to discuss. So I'll turn it back over to you.
Paul, thank you, Mr. Chisholm, excuse me. I'm looking at your name. I should be as formal as I can be. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, for the succinct update on it. I want to open it up to the board to have some discussion. Anybody in the public who might want to have a comment? And With that, I will open it up to the board. Do we have anybody on the board who has any comments or questions as to where we are?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, can I just request that Mark Ashenbo give us a summary of his staff report number 3?
Thank you.
Yes, I prepared conditional approval of both the site plan and special permit for this evening. And what we could do is, if you'd like, go through the special permit approval conditions that I drafted, the findings and conditions, to see if we're all on board with those. And if you'd like, I could share the screen with my staff report so that we could all follow. Would you like that?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, can you see that?
No.
It's
Yeah.
coming up. There it is. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
And excuse me, Mark, I will ask
Yeah.
anybody in the call. I can no longer see who's on the call because of my screen. If you do have a question or want to speak up, speak up. Thank you. Go ahead, Mark.
Okay, so I'll start with the site plan. Also, remind me that we do need to circle back to a waiver request from section 9.12, which is the parking requirements. I'll just give a brief overview of that. They're anticipating only 5 additional employees would be associated with the addition. So therefore, they're requesting a waiver from providing the full number of parking spaces that would normally be required on a square footage basis for a building of this size. To me, that's totally reasonable. So that would be also included in the decision. I'll circle back to that. So basically, my finding, you see there, site plan 1, planning board findings. My recommendation is that the planning board find that the site plan meets the criteria of section 3.54 of the zoning bylaw, which is the site plan approval criteria. And we can go through those when you're ready to make the motion, but first I'll go through the actual conditions that I'm proposing for conditional approval. Many of these are based on Superintendent Wetzel's recommendations for additional information prior to construction. The first of which is access to the town of Ayer's Stony Brook wastewater pumping station and force main must be maintained at all times during construction. There should be during, sorry. Including during operations curing.
And should it be force main or forced main?
It's without a D.
It's without a D, right?
Yes, it's grammatically incorrect, but it is technically correct. It's a force main.
Okay.
Thank
Spell
you.
check may have changed it on me. Prior to a certificate of occupancy, CO being issued for the building addition, Catania Spagna must work with the town of Ayer to relocate the utility easement location relative to the force main or otherwise resolve the issue to the satisfaction of the Ayer DPW.
Chair,
Yes,
I just want to like to hear from the representatives of the client. Is that perfectly acceptable? Number 2, is that any issue with that? Or is that cool?
Yeah, so I can say we did have a chance to review all of these and agree with all the findings in these suggestions and criteria here.
Thank you, Paul.
thank you
Okay,
very much. And thank you, Mr. Chisholm. I appreciate you doing the pre-work.
well then I'll go through them fairly quickly and we can circle back to them if you'd like,
Yep.
just so that the public and anybody listening who's not watching can understand. Number 3 would be Catania Spagna and the town of Ayer through its DPW must also discuss access to the force main corridor during construction should the force main pipe need replacing. Number 4, I put this in blue because I thought, it might bring up some issues, but the planning board's approval is contingent on the finding of the Mass DEP on notice of intent file number, I won't read the file number, that the stormwater pond on site, which is proposed to be filled, is not a jurisdictional wetland subject to protection under Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40, the Wetland Protection Act. As mentioned previously, our local conservation commission signed off on this. But I believe that, especially for major projects, the Mass DEP reviews local decisions. So That may come up in the future. Number 5, prior to any building permits being issued, the Air Conservation Commission must have completed its notice of intent review for the file number and attest to the planning board in writing that it anticipates the issuance of an order of conditions for the project within the next 3 months or in the near future. That is because even when they do issue the order of conditions, it sometimes takes a while for them to actually type up all those conditions and get the finding formally issued. 6, prior to any building permits being issued, Catania Spagna must submit a maintenance bond and an inspection agreement to the town of Ayer based on discussions with the Ayer DPW and subject to review and approval of town council. Such inspection agreement will address DPW fees for maintenance inspections, considering the scope and schedule of Catania Spagna's on-site inspection and reporting.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, please.
can we ask Mark questions as we go along? You want us to wait to the end?
Let's, if you don't mind, Ken,
Oh,
can
yeah,
you
we can.
jot it down, please?
Yep.
Thank you.
Number 7, prior to any building permits being issued, the Ayer DPW through its superintendent or town engineer must sign off to the effect that all engineering issues is reflected in the most recent plan set dated April 19th, 2021, and in letters received from the Ayer DPW dated April 26th and May 6th, 2021, have been met to their satisfaction. Oops. Number 8, prior to any building permits being applied for, the applicant shall file a revised plan set with the Ayer DPW, Building Department, and Planning Department, addressing the plan sheet deficiencies and concerns of the DPW as listed in their May 6, 2021 letter to the Ayer Planning Board. Number 9, prior to any building permits being issued, the applicant must have reached agreement with the town of Ayer through its DPW on the operation and maintenance bond or other surety arrangement to ensure that all drainage, stormwater, and public utility concerns of the town are covered. To satisfy this condition, the Ayer DPW should notify the Ayer Planning Department and Planning Board that this agreement has been reached. And I'll just briefly, since it's only a very short one, go on to the special permit, which has to do with facilities within the Aquifer Overlay District. The finding would be that the special permit criteria of section 3.4B, which is the Aquifer area district, have been met. Regarding the special permit application under Air zoning bylaw section 814C3, uses allowed by special permit for any work resulting in more than 15% or 2,500 square feet of impervious area in the Aquifer Overlay District. The planning board finds that the design guidelines and performance standards of Air zoning bylaw section 816 have been met by the proposed project as documented in the April 27, 2021 letter from Keach Nordstrom Associates to the Air Planning Board. So that is what I have for findings and conditions for the planning board to consider this evening.
Thank you very much, Mark. Why don't you leave that on the screen while we pick off a
Sure.
couple of things. Mr. Diskin, did you have a comment?
I wanted him to go back to his number 6. And my question
Right there.
to
Yep.
Mark and to Paul, somebody from Catania Spagna, was why do we have that in subject to review and approval by the town council as well as the DPW?
Well, I think because a maintenance bond and inspection agreement, well, the maintenance bond part of it is sort of a legal document similar to the covenants and other sureties. So I thought that, there may be a legal component that needs a little bit of review. If everyone thinks otherwise, that last part could be deleted. The town council part.
Mr. Chair, I think that's a little bit overreach.
Well, Mr. Diskin, let me ask Mr. Chisholm if he has anything to say on it, because I may have something to add.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, that's not uncommon to have some sort of counsel from the town review legal, a document like that that's going to be recorded, just to make sure that everything is done properly and all the Ts are crossed and Is are dotted. So we certainly don't mind doing that. If you folks feel you don't want it in there, that's fine too. I think between us and DPW, we certainly can get this done correctly as well. So however you guys are more comfortable moving forward, we're fine with that.
I appreciate it. And Mr. Diskin, the comment I have to it is this project includes a great deal of wastewater control, of water entering the property from off the property. And I think it's important that we have thought it through the best we can before we enter into the agreement.
I just don't, I don't want to put the applicant in a position that he's hung up because of a review and approval of town council. I think we've taken this through a very thorough investigation, especially with our DPW, who has a capable engineering department on board. So I'm just trying to be fair here.
I appreciate what you're saying, and I think this is also forward-looking for the parties that follow us. Mr. Whitney, you have something to say? Yes.
Yes, I just wanted to just call out that in Mark's letter, the estimated requirement for the O&M program would be roughly $5,000 annually, I believe, is what he put in his letter.
Right.
I don't know if something of that's not a large magnitude bond issue. Kind of following along with what Mr. Diskin was saying, I don't know if that's a document that actually has to go through council or anything. I guess I would leave that up to you folks.
Any other comments from members of the board? Mr. Diskin, do you want to make a motion to strike those words?
I'd like to make a motion that the planning board strike the words "and subject to review and approval of town council" in item number 6 of the conditions of approval for the Catania Spagna project.
Thank you.
Second.
The second by Mr. Krantz. Thank you very much. Any further discussion on this? Hearing none. Mr. Krantz, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Diskin?
Aye.
Mr. King?
Aye.
Ms. Murray?
Aye.
I'm going to abstain. The chair will abstain on this one. Thank you. So we'll strike those words from it. I'm going to ask a question on number 5. Any other questions from members of the board on this? On question 5, number 5, the last sentence. Basically the last words of the sentence, that the order of conditions of the project within the next 3 months or in the near future. So that I understand, this is the Conservation Commission issuing an order of conditions, and they have up to 90 days to issue this order of conditions. Is that what that says?
I could actually speak to that.
Thank you.
So we've had a couple back and forths with Concom. We are actually, I think we're actually in receipt of the draft order of conditions as of today. And they, at our tomorrow night's hearing, we expect that they will be issuing our order of conditions and closing that hearing. And that would basically leave the appeal period, which is a 10-day appeal period.
That's my understanding.
We're not anticipating any appeals, but you never know. So I'm not sure that that verbiage is correct. I'm not sure if they have actually 90 days. Paul, maybe you can chime in.
Mr. Chairman, just to add a little bit of clarity, I believe what happens is tomorrow they're going to vote on it and close basically the public hearing, vote to approve the order of conditions. At that point, they'll have 21 days to sign the document formally. And then from the date that they sign it, there's a 10-day appeal period for any aggrieved party or anything like that that happens. So I don't know that this language is necessarily restrictive or hurts anything. It's probably just, extra wording realistically. So we certainly don't think it's going to take up to 3 months. We're seeing this more as probably within the next 30 days, we'll get, that will be kind of cleared up and all of that. But just in terms of the actual timeline, it's 21 days that they have to sign the document. From the time they sign it, there's a 10-day appeal period. So that's really kind of and again, that will all start, that clock starts ticking tomorrow when they formally vote on it.
Thank you very much. My understanding is also, as you just laid out, Mr. Chisholm, is 21 days plus a little bit of time. So, okay, I saw 90 days and I was like, wait a minute. We've all been working on this hard.
Yeah,
Hit
we'll
the
certainly be
brakes.
within 90 days.
Hit the brakes. Okay, fine. Any other comments from members of the board? And that was the only question I had. I think this document is pretty good.
Mr. Chairman, just
Yes.
actually one point of clarification I missed when I was reviewing this earlier. Mark, on condition number 7, it says the recent plan set dated April 19th. The actual revision date on our plans is April 8th. We submitted it on the 19th, but the way we do our revisions, for whatever reason, it's the day we start revising the plans is the day we pick on that. So it's just, if you could just change that from April
Right.
19th, 2021 to April
I
8th.
April.
Thank you.
April 8th.
I consider that very friendly.
Yeah, yep, thank you. And
Okay.
regarding condition number 5, do people feel we could delete that in its entirety?
I think, Mr. Chair,
Yes, please.
I think you can just get rid of the language at the end and just end it by saying and attest to the planning board in writing that the order of conditions have been issued.
Thank you. I agree.
All right. Yeah.
So we have a motion from Mr.
Not the
Diskin.
anticipation or the time. Yeah, okay. I'd like to make a motion that the planning board amend condition number 5 in the,
No, wait, fix the grammar.
I know, give me, it takes me.
I was going to give him the grammar.
Give me the grammar.
I make a motion that the
Go ahead.
Air Planning Board amend condition number 5 of the, of the conditions of approval of the Catania Spag site plan approval to read the final, after the last comma, that it that
Take out in
planning board
anticipate.
in writing that the order of conditions has been issued. That
Exactly.
the order of conditions has been issued.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second,
Thank you, Mr. Krantz. Any further discussion on this item? Hearing none. Mr. King, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Murray, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Diskin?
Aye.
Mr. Krantz?
aye.
Chair votes aye. Thank you very much. Any other questions on any of the specific items from the board members or anybody else who is joining the meeting? Please just
Mr.
speak up. Yes, go
Mr.
ahead.
Chair, just a quick question on Paul. You probably have covered this.
Excuse
Just
me.
to confirm.
I'm sorry, this is Mr. King speaking, but go ahead, Mr. King. Thank you.
Thank
Member
you.
King. Yeah.
Can you just confirm that the new wastewater mechanism, the pipes are going to be installed prior to the dewatering and removal of the pond?
So as of right now, those pipes aren't necessarily being replaced. That is a possibility. Another possibility is that easements are relocated. We are trying to work with not just ourselves, but DPW, as well as the neighboring property Nasoya, to figure out really truly the best, I guess, way to move forward amongst all parties on how to handle that. So it's not necessarily given that the force main is going to be replaced.
Mr. Chisholm, sorry, my question wasn't about the force main.
Oh, okay.
It's about the retention, just that wastewater coming off of the.
Excuse me, Mr. King,
Yes,
you said wastewater. I think you mean stormwater.
thank you. That's probably.
That's why Mr. Chisholm and I jumped into our wastewater roles.
Yeah, sorry. Stormwater coming from the development across the street. That we'll always have an opportunity to catch it. You're not going to close the pond before you open up your other retention.
Absolutely, you got it. So what's going to happen is the very first big piece of this is going to be construction of the new underground system. Once that's complete, we'll tie in the neighboring and offsite flow to that, and then we'll work on dewatering and removing the other pond. So you're absolutely correct. At no point in time will there be no pond or something to mitigate the stormwater. That's a requirement in the stormwater handbook and through the Conservation Commission, obviously, and also just good practice. So yes, absolutely, that will absolutely happen.
Yes, and thank you, Mr. King, for clarifying that. And I do want to state, in talking to the superintendent of the DPW, he is, everyone's working very hard on this issue. So it's I think we've got good open lines of communication there, and if you read this, it puts DPW in the driver's seat. So we're going to end up with a solution that satisfies them from both a stormwater and a wastewater management through the process and post-process solution. Other comments from people in the on the board or in the audience? Hearing none, thank you. I think we're at a point where we can do a provisional approval of this. Am I
just have a
correct?
Question, do I need to make a motion for the finding first, or?
Yes, Mr. Chair and
Yep.
Planning Board, I would just recommend, so we do not forget it, that we act on the waiver request for the parking, and I just prepared a
Yes.
motion that could be made on that before we get into the special permit and site plan.
Why don't you put that up on the screen, please, Mark?
Yep. Okay, well, I'll read it. I didn't actually type it yet. but
Okay.
It's very simple. The planning board grants a waiver from Ayer zoning bylaw section 912 to allow for less parking spaces to be provided than called for in that section. So as you recall, the addition that they're putting on, they only will have 5 new employees, not, many dozens. So the parking calculations are done on a square footage basis. So, because of the nature of their business, they do not need all that parking. So to me, it's quite reasonable.
I don't understand why our regulation doesn't have it done by liters of oil per parked car. But anyway, I'm kidding, guys.
Right.
Okay, thank you. Jonathan, are you happy with the
I'd like to
language?
make a motion.
Thank you.
I'd like to make a motion, the Air Planning Board grant the applicant a waiver from Air zoning bylaw 912 to allow for fewer parking spaces than provided for in that section.
Thank
Second.
you. Seconded by Mr. Diskin. Any further discussion from members of the board? Hearing none. Mr. King, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Krantz, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Murray, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Diskin, how do you vote?
Aye.
The chair votes aye. So that one's out of the way. So now we need to do the finding for the site plan review, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
I
Thank
make
you.
a motion that the Air Planning Board find that the proposed site plan meets all the criteria for approval listed in the Air zoning bylaw section 354.
Second.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Diskin, for the second. Any further discussion from any members of the board? Hearing none. Mr. King, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Krantz, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Murray, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Diskin, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Thank you. And
Chair?
yes,
For the motion for the approval, shall I read all the conditions into the record?
I suggest you just makes the motion, the conditions as amended.
yes. And I would ask you to refer to this document by today's date, as edited on today's date. I'd love to have them all read in.
I understand.
I'm going to keep moving because
I'd like to make a motion that the Air Planning Board approve the site plan for the building project at Catania Spagna Oils, subject to the special conditions as articulated in staff report 3.0, May 12th, 2021.
Thank you very much. And we all saw it was just saved on the town planner's machine. Do I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. King, for seconding. Any further discussion? Hearing none. I'm sorry, Mr. Diskin, did you have something to say?
I just want to thank the applicants for the process they've taken us through and the quality of the drawings they presented and the team. It's a top-notch application. Thank you very much.
We're gonna forget to vote. Let's not forget that part. But thank you very much, Mr. Diskin. How do you vote, Mr. Diskin?
Aye.
Mr. King,
Aye.
Mr. Krantz,
Aye.
Ms. Murray,
Aye.
chair votes aye, and the chair seconds Mr. Diskin's comments on behalf of the board. So now we have the special permit to take care of.
Yes, there are two findings. Can I combine the two findings into one motion?
Yeah, they could be one motion. Section 3(4)B is the general special permit criteria, and the second of the two findings has to do with the specific ones in the Aquifer Overlay District.
Okay, great.
Yep.
I make a motion that the Air Planning Board find that the general special permit approval criteria as listed in Air Zoning Bylaw, Section 3(4)B have been met, and that further, we find that the design guidelines and performance standards of Air Zoning Bylaw, Section 816 have been met by the proposed project as documented in the April 27th, 2021 letter from Keach Nordstrom Associates to the Air Planning Board.
Thank you. Do we have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. King, for the second. Any further discussion from members of the board? Hearing none. Mr. Diskin, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. King,
Aye.
Mr. Krantz,
Aye.
Ms. Murray,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. And as I believe that wraps this up for
No,
this.
I gotta make the motion to approve.
Thank you. Go for it.
I make a motion.
You should see my agenda with all the notes on it, guys. Come on. Okay, go ahead.
I make a motion that the Air Planning Board approve the special permit pursuant to the Air Zoning Bylaw, Section 814C3 use regulations, uses allowed by special permit for any site work resulting in more than 15% or 2,500 square feet of impervious area in the Aquifer Protection Overlay District.
Thank you. Do we have a second, please?
Second.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to give that one to Mr. King. I think Ms. Murray tried to get on, but okay. Any further discussion from the members of the board? Hearing none, Ms. Murray, how do you vote?
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Diskin.
Aye.
Mr. King,
Aye.
Member Krantz,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. We now wrap this one up and about to close the hearing and the special permit. Thank you. I want to echo, if you, Mark, do you mind unsharing the screen, please?
Oh, yes.
Thank you very much. Just so we can see everybody, if there's anybody has any questions in the current public. It doesn't look like it. I want to say thank you very much. It's been, this one's moved along. You guys have been very helpful. As Mr. Diskin said, it's been a great project. And thank you.
Good luck to Mr. Whitney now.
Thank you. Thank you all very much.
The real trouble starts.
Be careful what you wish for.
Build it.
And you got to bring it in on time. No, in today's world. But thank you, gentlemen, for being patient with us. And I'm glad we were able to move this forward the way we have. We look forward to a continuing fantastic relationship.
Yep. We
Catania.
appreciate the kind words. Thank you all very much, and good evening.
Good evening. Mr. Krantz, can we get a motion to close the hearing and the site plan review, please?
Yes, I make a motion that we close the hearing for 1 Nemco Way. Thomas Monument Oils.
I don't know what just happened.
Feedback from Julie.
Julie, did you
Sorry,
second?
I'll second.
Thank you. I think there's an airplane flying over Julie's house, whatever. So moved and seconded by Ms. Murray. Thank you very much. Mr. Krantz, any discussion from the board members on this?
Yeah, just a clarification. So
Thank you.
do we need to have two closings, Mark? One for the site plan and one for the special permit?
Yes.
Can I
Okay.
revise my motion, please?
Well, you can put
Yes.
two, one back to back, that's all.
Oh,
I assumed you just asked, you closed for the special permit.
I closed for the special permit. Yes.
Good,
Yeah.
thank you. That's what I heard. Okay, Mr. Krantz, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Diskin?
Aye.
Mr. King?
Aye.
Ms. Murray?
Aye.
Thank you, and chair votes aye.
Aye.
Mr. Krantz? Yep. Thank you.
I make a motion that we close the public hearing for the site plan review for 1 Nemco Way, Catania Spagna Oils.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Thank you very much. Any further discussion with members of the board? Hearing on Ms. Murray, how do you vote?
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Diskin.
Aye.
Mr. Krantz,
Aye.
Mr. King,
Aye.
chair votes aye. Thank you very, very much. I think we're done.
We're done.
Very much.
It's always so underwhelming when we finish a large project like this, right, guys?
Thank you very much, board.
Good luck. Thank you very much. This brings us to next order of business. We have an A&R for 37 Sandy Pond Road. I would ask if there's anybody in the audience representing this. Mr. Conover, you're on mute. Kevin?
Coming.
There you go. There we go.
Sorry about that.
I can see your lips moving.
My fingers are moving slower than my lips.
Go ahead.
So I represent Jeffrey and Andrea Greco. They have a piece of property on the southerly side of Sandy Pond Road. And this is kind of a unique property division where there were two buildings situated on the property that pre-existed subdivision control coming into effect in the town of Ayer. One building was constructed in 1948 and the other one was constructed in 1950. Subdivision control came into effect in February 1966 in the town of Ayer. So obviously they pre-existed subdivision control law. So according to Mass Chapter 41, Section 81L, you can divide a piece of property into two lots that have two buildings on it that pre-existed subdivision control. There are no dimensional requirements on an 81L plan. There are no zoning setback requirements for an 81L plan, and there aren't any minimum lot frontage or area requirements for an 81L plan. We've done several of these in the town of Ayer, most recently a couple of years ago for St. Mary's Church. We've also done one about 15 years ago for property near the post office and the town hall. So it's just a mechanism that Mass General Bylaw provides for situations such as this. It's not common, but it has been done before and it's legal, and so we're proposing two lots on the southerly side of Sandy Pond Road.
Thank you very much. For members of the board, Mr. Diskin dug in on this one like he typically does. Mr. Diskin, would you like to have any opine on this in any way?
I'd just like to say that Mr. Conover offered an opportunity to the board members to telephone his office because it was so unusual to see a plan with these different kinds of dimensions that we're not used to in a typical A&R. But after doing some research and discussing it with professionals involved, we realized that it is an acceptable A&R, and I believe we're ready to endorse the plan.
Yes, thank you. And it's my understanding that in the conversations between you, Mr. Archambault, and Mr. Conover, there was some language added to the plan itself.
Yeah, that's absolutely. I forgot to mention that. What we did is we just included the entire definition of what an 81L plan is in terms of the specifications, how this is not classified as a subdivision. And then we also added a typical note suggested by Mr. Diskin about the not certifying that there's any zoning nonconformance. So I'll just read you the note. Just says planning board endorsement under the subdivision control law should not be construed as either an endorsement or an approval of the zoning bylaw, lot area requirements, or any other requirements of the town of Ayer zoning bylaw. Now that's redundant with any A&R plan, but in this particular case, Mr. Diskin suggested that note should be put on the plan just to clarify any ambiguity or any questions.
Thank you very much. And if I may, I believe we received a copy of it maybe today, and I'm turning it right side up. No, seriously, it came through lefty, righty, lefty, or however I want to say it. I sound like such a, if I may, Mr. Conover, I don't know if you can see that screen.
Yep.
Okay, and this is the document that you were just discussing.
Exactly, and what's highlighted on that plan are the revisions that we did. I think I dropped that off Monday in the box outside the town hall. But as just a matter of clarification, I just wanted to highlight the notations that were added that are different than the original submission.
I appreciate that. And Mr. Diskin, I hate to say it, but The only date I find on that that includes the day is 5/7/2021
That
at the
must have been,
bottom.
must have been the latest revision by Kevin, I
Yep.
would guess.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, so typically we want a day and date. I think we can use that as a day and date if it's okay with the board. I see no reason why we can't. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so I can see all you guys. I appreciate you, Kevin, taking the opportunity, taking the steps to put this language on it. And then again, I appreciate Mr. Diskin and I spoke about this on the phone. This is a difficult thing to follow if you don't do 81Ls all the time. When you're talking about it on the phone without a doc, I had nothing in front of me. I was sitting in a car in a parking lot, but I appreciate you, you taking care of this. Any further questions from or comments from members of the board or the public on this? Hearing none, I believe a motion is in order.
I'd like to make a motion that we endorse the May 7th, 21 site plan for the A&R submitted on behalf of Jeffrey and Andrea Greco.
Second,
Thank you very much. I don't know if you added a date to that.
I did.
you did.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the agenda, looking at our time. So moved in second. Any further discussion?
Do we need to note the address or is that sufficient?
I don't know the address was ever actually mentioned
I
on
don't know what
the.
it is.
37 Sandy Pond. As long as we've captured.
Well, what's going to happen is we put the 37 Sandy Pond on it, and as soon as we accept it, it becomes multiple lots.
Okay.
And it's only applicable to one. So I think we're going to have to go with a little bit of less specificity here.
The name and date suffice.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Any other further comments? Hearing none. Mr. Krantz, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. King,
Aye.
Mr. Diskin,
Aye.
Ms. Murray?
Aye.
Thank you, and the chair votes aye. Thank you very much, Mr. Conover, for working with us.
thank you very much for your time and you have a great evening.
You too, thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So I have literally jotted all over my agenda, so I want to make sure we don't miss anything. I think we've taken care of the issues that we have people before us for this evening. Am I correct? We've done Nemco Way, the A&R, Shaker Mill Pond.
No
Yes,
McDonald's this week?
No, we'll talk about that in a moment, if you don't mind.
Yep.
And many of my comments have been taken care of. Okay, great. Good. So we're at the point where we got town planners update, administrative announcements, and minute approval. I don't know how late we have this evening. I've got a little bit of stuff I want to talk about, so I might ask your indulgence for a little while, but I promise you it won't be much more than about 15 or 20 minutes. Cindy?
Pick what you need, Jeff.
I'm sorry?
Pick what you need for time.
I appreciate that, Cindy. Thank you very much. Okay,
Understood her. Jeff, what did she say?
we have time.
We have time. Okay.
She said, take what you need, but we're not going to take that much time. So, Mr.
We don't know
Archambault, I'm sorry?
We don't know yet.
We do. Mr. Archambault, do you have anything in the way of announcements you want to make this evening?
yes, I wanted the full board to know that I started a subcommittee to look at developing regulations for open space residential development subdivisions. That can be part of the subdivision regs that we adopted in 2020. These OSRD regulations and design guidelines would clarify some of the gray areas that we're working with in the bylaw as far as flag lots and the configuration of open space and some of the design issues that we, have been struggling with over the past few subdivisions. And members of that group include Ken Diskin, Jonathan Krantz, Dan Van Shelkwick, and Lieutenant Bob at the fire department, and Joanne from conservation.
Thank you.
So we've had a few meetings so far. We have another one next week. And the goal is to have something, in the summertime that we can bring back to the full board, hopefully for a public hearing and adoption. And if the board is willing, these would go into the subdivision regulations, specifically addressing design issues for OSRDs.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, that's great. Keep us in the loop on what you guys are doing about it. And I'm going to ask a question. I've heard of Lieutenant Bob referred to as Lieutenant Bob for years. Does he have a last name?
Bozak.
Thank you very much. I love the small town feel.
Small
of it.
town, yep.
Exactly. So thank you.
Yep.
Do you have anything else in the way of announcements?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that we did receive the traffic report from GPI on behalf of McDonald's. I'm still going through it, but that will be the subject of the next planning board meeting on May 25th. We'll be taking up McDonald's again. I anticipate we'll discuss the findings of the traffic study. I am not sure if we'll be ready to fully approve the plan, but we're getting very close. So if people want to review the traffic study with an eye for questions that we might have, that will be the main topic for that particular meeting. Also, we'll be opening the public hearing for the definitive subdivision on Washington Street. So that will be starting, and at the same time that we're finishing up McDonald's.
Yep. Thank you very much.
A question, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Mr. Diskin.
Mark. So I was given a full set of plans. I think Jeff got a set and Jonathan got a set, and I got a set for the project on Washington Street by the high school.
Mhm.
And what was obvious to me, they made a couple of small changes, but the thing that keeps keep thinking about is how they're going to provide a notice of intent. Have you had any discussion with Joanne about how the applicant intends to approach the notice of intent? And I'll tell you the reason for my question. There's a possibility that they do not need a notice of intent for the subdivision road if it's not in a buffer zone. But they obviously need notice of intent for a lot of lots. So
Right.
I'm just curious. That's just a curiosity question, I guess.
Yeah, that's something I will have to discuss with Joanne. Obviously, yes, when the lots come in, they will require that, but I thought that part of the road was within the buffer zone, but you may be correct. They may not need a notice of intent for the road per se.
Yeah, I'm doing it off the top of my head, but I kind of recall that line paralleled, but didn't reach they put those two buffer zone lines on there, the 50 and the 100.
Right. Well, thank you very much for bringing that to my attention. So when I, look at it with a finer tooth comb, I'll make sure that I cover that with Joanne.
Yeah, and the reason I brought that up was because I think it might, if you think of the work we just did on, and the conditions we just did for the Catania Spagno, there were quite a few pieces that we, contained approval by another board for
Right.
building permit. So anyway, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Just curious about it. They may, what I'm thinking is that they, I guess I shouldn't guess what they're going to do, but they applied for the subdivision road. I believe we can look at that, and then they can go ahead and build the road and come back one by one or however they want to approach the lots at a future date. But just guessing.
Yeah, that's good. Well, I'll attempt to have, an update for the board on May 25th when we start the public hearing for that.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, and I'm just going to speak off the cuff, they intend to go to Conscom for NOIs for each individual lot, as opposed to a blanket NOI. It's just, it seems more detail oriented, but it's easier to enforce. And no, I don't want to say enforce, but it's easier to track and enforce. So thanks. And thanks for following up on that, Mark. Any other comments under the town planner announcements? If not, I'd like to take on a couple of things. I'm going to share my screen. And I'm going to start out with a letter I received. I received a letter last week on the 9th of May, and I've shared this with Mark and Ken at this point. It's from resident Sarah Withy, and it says, Jeff, through you, I wanted to say I was happy to vote to re-elect Ken and Julie as planning board members. I learned a lot and I appreciated the board's comments and feedback during meetings this year. From the McDonald's parking lot to the subdivisions, I thought you really tried to let residents ask questions during very busy meetings. Take care, Sarah. And I share that with you all because we've worked hard in the last couple of years to bring in as much as we can from the community. And this was reflected again. We were asked last meeting to close the public comment period before we were ready to make a motion and close a project. And it's important that we remain as open and transparent as possible. And it's nice to get letters like that. It really is nice to get comments like that from townsfolk. That's one. The second thing I want to talk about is a little bit of an overview as we go forward. And I'm going to pull it up and share this screen. And this is, oh, excuse me. My computer just took itself over. Okay, so I put together, so as many of you are aware, there's a land use committee here in town. It's members of the different departments in town. Mark is on it, Joanne Christoph is on it, DPW is on it. I believe public safety is involved in a couple of different ways. And we got like a lot of stuff coming our way this year. And if you think about it, it can be somewhat overwhelming. So what I wanted to do very quickly, and I'd spoken to Mr. Diskin about this also, is how do we look forward and how do we work smart, not harder this year? And what is it we're going to need to do? So this is just kind of a future look. It's not to scare anybody, but it's to kind of put it in perspective. And so I mean this slide, the future's so bright, or be careful what you wish for. There's a lot of activity going on in Ayer right now. Some of this is in motion, some of it we may not know about. Some of it's been in motion for years and may be coming before us this year. So a quick look at our future list is Catania Spagna, the expansion we've been working on. Panther Place, we just spoke about, it's on our agenda for the next meeting. The McDonald's site plan review, which we just received the traffic study for, and like all traffic studies, it's exactly 114 pages long. 14 Washington Street, Panther Place, I'm sorry, I've done it twice. Stratton Hill, that is off of Wright Road, the residential neighborhood off of Wright Road that was first approved by the planning board, might have been last decade.
Oh yeah, 2004, Jeff.
Yeah. And so they have been coming back to us. I know Conscom has walked it. We asked for the plans, not the plans for it, but the boundaries of it so we could start looking at it. But that's going to resume this year. I'm not familiar with plat builders, but I do know Willow Road, and I'm assuming the issues there are going to be a site plan review for something we want to build, and the Aquifer District special permit, because that end of Willow Road is in our Aquifer District. The marijuana cultivation operation, that is the one that we've already spoken about, I think last year, Mark? If I'm not
Yes.
mistaken.
Yeah, that's Jeff Smith, I think.
Mm-hmm. And then mushroom cultivation facility, I'm assuming these are mushrooms for eating.
Not magic mushrooms, they're.
No,
Okay.
those aren't legal yet. I know you-
They're putting it after marijuana.
I know.
Yeah, and I just want to be very clear on that. But it's fun. It's
Yeah.
fun to do. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jonathan. Yeah.
Is this, Alan and I had been talking months ago about a possibility of a mushroom, I don't know what you call a mushroom farmer moving in. Is that from one of Alan's fishing expeditions?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So I was involved in this a little bit, so I'm very excited about this. This is
Yeah.
very good news.
Well, wait a minute, you don't. Anyway.
No, in the interest of public knowledge, Mr. Krantz has a hobby. He is a person who forages for edible mushrooms. And Ayer, much to my surprise, I found out a couple of years ago from Mr. Krantz, has a plethora of edible mushrooms available, including chicken in the woods, which we have across the street, but I'm not telling you where. So I don't want to get off, I don't want to get off the trail too far
No, I'm
here because
fine. Keep going.
I do want to keep going, but thank you.
Jeff, excuse
We've
me.
got the, yes.
Any addresses for those?
I will, I intentionally left them off this. This is, I
Okay.
want this to be very high level. I didn't want to
Okay,
get,
good.
I
Thank
didn't
you.
want to get lost in the details tonight.
Thank you.
Form-based code project at 3 to 5 Park Street. Mr. Gardner and his family have been to us a couple of times about this. I think it's starting to get traction again. A comprehensive permit for the multifamily project, and I got that number wrong. It's actually 75 Fitchburg Road, I believe. Am I correct, Mark?
Actually, it's 65.
I made, okay.
I know,
Sorry,
I made
guys.
a mistake in my memo. There was
Yeah.
something else for 76 and I was getting them mixed up, but yes,
So-
the comprehensive permit.
But again, we're talking about this, and this is why I want to talk about it, okay? The considerations and issues we have. No better example of what can happen is unfortunately what happened at the beginning of our meeting this evening. Two attorneys who are not working on the same document, unable to move it forward. So we get in a position where we all do our work, and I want to again say that it is impressive, and I love being associated with this group of people. We do the work, and we try and move things forward. There's a lot going on here in the town of Ayer, and it's something that if we can be careful and thoughtful about how we do the work and how we do our work and how we communicate, we can get it all done, and we can serve the town of Ayer in the positions we've been elected to. So the issues are time management, communications between the planning staff and the planning board, and the other. I didn't put everybody in here because not every group in town has to be brought into the conversation all the time. Okay, but if we all, as we work on this, think about who needs to be kept in the loop, it'll help. I wish we could come up with a tool better than email. We'll talk about that at some point in the future. But what will we need to oversee the process in order to do our job on behalf of the town while supporting the other town departments? Nothing worse than somebody being blindsided by something. It's unprofessional to blindside somebody. It's unprofessional to be blindsided by somebody. It's easy to do in a rapidly changing environment. And so I'd like to make sure. In some ways, some answers are, and I'm going to ask the board members to think about how they might help this process as we go forward. We might even actually think about talking about, here we are. Like, I know Mark's going to be away and Heather's out of town. I don't want the attorneys just to sit with a vacuum. So I'll step in and try and move it forward. We're going to have to be creative along those guidelines to keep things going forward. So we don't end up with wait 2 more weeks, wait 2 more weeks, wait 2 more weeks. So over communicating with the involved town departments, getting set timelines. We're going to have to say we're going to do it. If we can't do it, let us know. Okay. And this is for everybody. Engage independent experts as needed for project review where needed. We rely very heavily on the DPW. They are very helpful, but they got their own work to do every single day. So if they don't know that something's coming down the pipe and they want to go to Florida, which is absolutely acceptable. I mean, Dan Von Skalkovic has gone to ConsCom meetings on behalf of the town from his in-laws' house. It's unfair to Dan. We need to be aware of each other's workload and cooperate to accomplish the tasks in the regulatory timeframes. We don't control those. So as we get projects, is there a way that we can put a date on is there a way that we can name the file with the project name and the date of when it started? And then maybe the number 45 or 90 after it. So when it comes out to us, we know, some way, shorthand, that we know we have to act or we have to ask for a continuance. So we don't go through the where are we conversation. Things that we've done, I mean, I've done in my past lives, and I'm not sure how it's going to work here, but something as simple as Gantt charting. What has to happen to get something done? If we just lay that out, we don't have to put dates on everything, but if we lay it out as we go through these meetings, we say, oh, we've now ticked all these boxes, we can move to the next step. And everyone comes to the meeting understanding that we've taken care of our job. I know there's been discussion about software solutions that may or may not help to manage the workflow. And from our standpoint, we need certain things. Other departments need certain things, but there might be something out there. And I know Superintendent Wetzel has brought that forward to the town, not to make him the champion or hero, but he recognizes that when he touches something, building needs to know, or ConsCom needs to know, or planning needs to know, or ZBA needs to know. He touches lots of things because he's got to keep the town moving forward. And how do changes in project timelines get communicated to all involved? Email updates. Emails are good, but I've only met one person, and I only know one person in my entire professional career who remembered everything for an email. So it's a challenge sometimes. If you're in the field, you're taking notes, something happens, you miss it. And that becomes the Achilles heel of us being able to move forward. So these are why I'm saying it. So, and most importantly, maintaining public engagement and encouraging public input. So this is what I've been thinking about as we start ramping up. I've said this to many people. There are 60 properties coming on the market in town in the project we're working on right now. The project John Carroll Reserve, the project at Shaker Mill Pond, the project on Panther Place, not including the project at 35 Park Street, not including the project that may happen at 65 Fitchburg Road. The projects that we're already discussing, not including Stratton Hill, that represents close to $30 million in tax base for this town. That's a nice chunk of income. And it's our job to figure out how we can make this work. So I don't want to scare you. I'm going to unshare this now, and I'm happy to send this around to people so you have it to look at. But the reason I bring this up is, you know, Ken and I, Mark, we saw the memo. Obviously, you've seen this before. It's not the complete memo. And it's funny, Ken and I were looking at that and we're like, oh my God, this is fantastic. We know what our workload is. How do we approach this so that poor Mark Archambault is not underwater, so, and I used this expression before, drinking from a fire hose? Okay, seriously, how do we get, you know, here we have a document where we're giving approval to an applicant, and there's a sentence in there totally reliant upon a committee a commission we have no bearing on, no control over, no input. We should not have input into. So we got to understand kind of how do we stay in our lanes, how do we share what we need to share with everybody else, and how do we get an applicant to the end point? And then there's something else that I want to talk about, and I do not want to come across as complaining, but I have been, I've not had the right agenda in front of me for the last 5 meetings, or an agenda has changed. And I do appreciate that there will always be reasons to change an agenda, and I am open-minded about changing agendas. But I finally decided to go to the town and get the one that's stamped for this meeting. Because as Mr. Diskin said a few weeks, maybe the last meeting, where do you get your agendas from? I do work on agendas in draft format with the office. I'm not throwing anybody under the bus. I may be just as guilty as everybody else, but the changes are enough sometimes that it's got to put a little bit of lack of confidence in our applicants and stuff like that. So we just got to tighten it up around the edges. And I would ask that you all think, if you have comments now, I'd love to hear them, but I ask that you all think about this, and maybe we'll figure out what to do with the next steps. But Mr. Krantz, you have something to say?
Yeah, I wanted to ask, have you or anyone else who's on the call right now, in this meeting right now, heard any, I don't know what to say, complaints, issues of concerns from applicants or citizens or the other departments that we communicate to? Have you heard any, have you heard any concerns that we need to know about, that there are delays, ambiguities, confusions? outside of us, are there
Um,
other concerns going on out there?
I'm gonna walk a line, and the answer is to an extent. An applicant's not gonna complain to the planning board directly. An applicant is coming to the planning board looking for something. The last thing they want to do is muddy the waters. But there is day-to-day things that happen. And it's, I guess the way I look at it this way, Jonathan, is I don't think it's super broken, to answer your question. But if you take a look at the stuff that we are going to have on our hands, and I go like this because the list is next to me on my other computer screen, it's going to be very easy to miss a step. And then we're saying to somebody at day 80 on a 90-day approval, geez, we need a letter from you to extend this because, and we're ready to go. And we need to be efficient and get them off our list. You know, as long as the applications and the projects meet with the guidelines, meet with the bylaws, meet with Mass General Law, and meet with our needs, we should be able to move them forward. Yes, there will be attorneys that have to be involved. There will be times when we have to bring in stormwater engineers because DPW can't get it done. But we can't ask DPW, here, in 10 days, we meet these people again. I mean, we meet on Tuesday, they get us the plans on Friday. We need it back in 10 days. That's five working days. The town is closed from Friday at noon until Monday morning. We can't call anybody and get questions after we get the information on a Thursday night. So we just got to tighten it up. If you get my drift, you got to tighten it up a little bit. That's all. And we will be able, I believe, to handle all of these projects and all of these things going forward. Mr. Diskin dug right in on that 81L. He just dug in on it. He saw the email, he reached right out and took care of it. I hadn't even read the email yet. And he's calling me on the phone to tell me what has happened, what it is, why it's interesting. It's a fascinating point of real estate law. It really is. But Ken, to be honest with you, it's impossible to imagine talking on the phone without seeing that picture. So that's why. And Jonathan, it's not so much, is it broken?
Yeah.
It's just how, I'm a cyclist, guys, right? Yesterday I rode over 60 miles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yesterday I rode over 60 miles. The second trip was with one of the guides I ride with in Italy. He told me to slow down.
Hey!
He's 31 years old.
All right.
He goes, your heart's going to give out. You're not having fun. So anyway, but long story short, there's things we can do to tighten up. Mark, and you're over here on my screen. Ask before you need it. You see what I'm saying? Think it through, ask before you need it. Mr. Diskin has got hundreds of hours, thousands of hours of project experience with things like we do. He understands, and you do too, but there are times when bouncing it off of somebody can help you see what you know is there, but you're not seeing for whatever reason. I do it all the time. I worked with a team when I was very young in my career, and whenever we got stuck, we get a whiteboard out and start talking about it and writing it on the wall. All of a sudden there'd be silence in the room. We figured it out. We're all missing that one point, or we all misunderstood. Well, I thought you asked. No one asked. Mr. Krantz, you're dying to say something.
Yes, I'm so sorry for looking.
No.
Pardon. I'm trying to think how to phrase this. I think that one of the things that would be helpful, and especially I'm speaking to the people or participants in the land use committee. I've only attended one, and that was 2 years ago. So I don't know its workings fully. But there are certain kinds of projects where it's readily apparent what the biggest hiccup is going to be, right? For example, and I'm not going to name names, but there's a potential for a subdivision on a road that probably isn't really designed to carry the kind of traffic that many additional units would require. So it makes sense that even before it comes before the planning board, if there is a thing as a land use commission, and it's coming, is to someone to say to that person, to the applicant, let's be frank, the big problem here is probably going to be X. Be prepared to address X. Don't wait till you submit the preliminary or the definitive right now. Just know in advance. X is going to be an issue here.
And I agree. And again, it's 20 minutes late. We got some more work to do, and I want Mark's off on vacation. I want to get him off the clock. And Cindy's being very good, and APAC's very good. So we'll tighten this up. But
Okay.
absolutely. And I think we're going to be able to identify as we move forward. But I really like it's the by whom, by when, and how conversation that has to take place when a task is assigned. We assume it's being assigned. We assume it's going to get done. Sometimes we just have to add clarity to it. And, I said to Mark that I would write a letter. Mr. Diskin asked for a letter to the town of Harvard regarding the discussion about the border. I have reached out to people here in town. I have a letter drafted, but there are two people working on this in parallel. And it doesn't make sense for the town manager's office and the planning board to do it differently. I think it's actually time for us to come together and discuss it.
The only
And-
difference is that the planning board might get it done.
I don't disagree with you, Mr. Diskin. I'm chomping at the bit to get it done. But at this point in time, I know that the town manager's office is actually working on it too. So last week I put in a request, and I'm hoping that will be, and I'll be in touch with the town manager's office about it this week. That was the promise was they get back to me this week. We had elections, blah, blah, blah. So I will not let that go, honestly. But I said I would do it, but I didn't give you a by when because I knew I had to take that path. But in all honesty, that's in all clarity and transparency, that's what I want to talk about. So with that being said, I'd like you, I'll send this out. Mark, I'll just distribute this to the board and distribute it to you so you have it in front of you. I did duplicate something, sorry. I took one crack at this. I sent it to our editor, but he was busy today doing something else. I sent it to Ken this morning, unfortunately. I didn't give him a chance. That's unfair.
Wednesday.
That I was being unfair to Ken. So anyway, last thing is the approval of the minutes.
Yes.
Oh, and excuse me. Ken, do you have anything else under old business you want to talk about?
You were up to me by by talking about the Harvard letter, so that's good.
Yeah, I had to this time. Go ahead, Mr. Krantz.
I will just say I was amused by a recent news item that a farmer in Belgium got frustrated with a granite border marking post on what he thought was his property and decided to bulldoze it. What he failed to realize is that border marker was between France and Belgium itself.
Wow.
So if you think that Ayer and
I
Harvard,
saw that too, Jonathan. I
Well-
understood the article so much better now.
I saw it, I had to laugh. I said, oh my God. Oh my
That is great. So I'd like to move us along, and I thank you all for letting me opine on that one. I saw the letter. I literally sat here and said, wow, look at what's happening in the town of Ayer. How cool is this? We're bringing in 60 families to help share the burden. And quite honestly, the 60 units we're bringing in, the number of children coming to town is probably around 100. It's not a huge surge in cost. And of all the property that we're working with, we're keeping almost 50% of it, if not more, in green space.
It's great.
So we're hitting our goals, or hitting the goals of the town, the bylaw and the plan. I can't think of the name of it right now. So
Master plan.
the master plan. We're ticking off those boxes. And again, I can't say it often enough. Thank you all. I got one more thing for new business. Mark, please make a note. I'll make sure I email you. We get to hold elections. We have two members who've been reelected. So May 25th, we're going to discuss about reorganization of the board. Fair enough? Been trying to do that for a long time. Minutes for April 27th, 2021.
Yes.
Would you like to make a motion, please?
The Ayer Planning Board minutes for April 27th, 2021.
Do we have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. King. I have a question on this. Thank you very much. Moved by Mr. Krantz, seconded by Mr. King. On page 1, we're talking the review, it's Shaker Road subdivision, not Sharker. But second paragraph on the third to last paragraph, it says, the DPW will do the normal inspection of the project and give a cost average for completion of the project. Mr. Aho will place a cash bond in escrow with the town of 1.5 times the amount the DPW gives. I don't recall that. Was that correct? Is that everyone else?
Yes, it's correct. And the thing that's interesting is the discussion we had tonight was in complete reverse, that the covenant, he was going to go right to the security, a month ago.
Yeah.
We did the schedule of values, we did the whole thing.
Right.
And now KP Law is involved, so going to lose 2 months.
So,
to put the covenant together. So anyway.
Well, so the answer to my question is that
Yes,
the
that's correct.
understanding? Okay, thank you. Because as they were discussing it tonight on the TV set, I actually tried to say, wait a minute, we talked, as you said, Mr. Diskin, this is what I thought we had come to terms on,
Right.
and now it's different. Anyway, I'll keep you all informed. Anybody else have any comments about this, about these? And I want to thank Mr. Krantz again for his editorial capabilities. Anybody else comments on it? If not, moved and seconded. Mr. Krantz, how do you vote to accept the minutes?
Aye.
Thank you. Mr. Diskin?
Aye.
Mr. King?
Aye.
Ms. Murray?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Thank you very much. I have one more question I'm going to ask the board. It's an inefficient way that we try to get things done, but there was a plot plan, a set of plans that needed to be signed last week. I'm hoping everybody did. Please don't admit that you didn't get to the town hall to sign them, but if you haven't, it's going to be very difficult. There's nobody in the planning office this week until
Which
next
brings us to
Wednesday.
the A&R that we just approved.
Yeah. So I don't know how we're going to handle, thank you very much. I don't know how we're going to handle that, Mark. You are out until next Wednesday or Thursday?
No, Monday. No,
Okay.
I'm only taking 2 days off. Same with
Okay.
Heather. So
Okay.
yeah,
So
we're back Monday. I was under the impression that everything was signed for the Aho plan. But
would you please, yeah, okay. When I signed it, I was the guy, Jonathan had been there before me, and then I signed it.
Yep.
And to be honest with you guys, I try not to be really annoying. I annoyed Mr. Diskin and Ms. Murray today about getting sworn in for tonight's meeting so we could have a meeting. But it's we got to find a way where we don't all have real-time access to town email. So we've got to figure out how that's going to work too. Again, back to my comments earlier. What's the best way for us to work going forward? That'll work for us and work for everybody else and will not lay on top of it another layer of extra effort.
Why can't we think about getting, so the town hall, this is just, I'm trying to answer your question. And
Yeah.
there's no possible way that we could do like a 10-foot distance between people in the Great Hall and start having our meetings. We could sign everything, we could get things done. There's just no thought to that.
So to answer that question, a couple of things are going on. As many of you know who know that Ayer has finally, after way too many weeks, marched its way out of the red zone for COVID into the yellow zone. And last week we were in the gray zone. So it has to happen. I don't know what the metrics are, Ken, but on my list of things to discuss with the town manager is what are the future of our meetings? What are the future of our relationship with Harvard? How do we work with Mark's office and Heather's office and the other offices in town to come up with a solution? I mean, quite honestly, I did a project here. Charlie Schultz, the building inspector, was out here inspecting the project. That's the best time for me to talk to Charlie about the stuff that's on the planning board in front of us. So he knew about the request for the model homes over at Shaker Mill Pond. Mark had spoken to him about it. I had spoken to him about it, but there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a way for Charlie to have, an automatically generated list of what's going on this week. He can set his own schedule. He can set his own time. He knows what he has to do. But when we rely upon phone messages and these guys are in the field an awful lot, it gets challenging. So we got to figure it out.
Mr. Chair, if I may.
Yes, go ahead.
Direct, just a consideration for Ken's suggestion. I appreciate your intent there, Ken. Is it up to the planning board and each board to something to consider and take up with, maybe you could even ask the town manager that once a board is accepts meeting together and criteria for meeting together, can they make that decision on their own?
That and Nathan, excuse me, that is part of the conversation.
Okay.
Okay. They're chomping at the bit, quite honestly, because I mean, we went a fair period of time without meeting at all. No Zoom, no meeting. We're now Zoom, and it's my clear assumption we're going to be seeing Zoom for a while, and I hope it's shorter than we all think. But again, there are people bigger than us, people more important than us making that decision. I was just reminded of one
Jeff,
last.
can I
Go ahead.
interject?
Yes, please.
Julie.
Yeah.
I think it's also just important to mention while we're discussing that is I've seen incredible amounts of participation on behalf of our applicants and their teams. And I think while the time limitations and the Zoom limitations are frustrating, as I've been calling in tonight, I hear it, but I think there's something interesting that happens when we get all of the engineers and a lot of the companies and even more town participation at times with the accessibility. So I hope it's a full discussion, and I know it's not probably up to us, but I just want to point that out.
And I appreciate that. I have spoken to other chairs, other boards, not only in my town, but in the not only in our town, but in the other boards I sit upon and the other efforts I'm involved with. National Bike Week happens in DC. It's advocacy for bicycling. 207 people went the year before the pandemic. 1,600 showed up in Zoom. The answer's there. However, governance has to happen open. Not everybody has access to the Zoom. With that being said, I forgot the last piece, so it's obviously not very important. And I want to thank you all once again.
Thank
For doing the hard work of planning boards. And Mark, where are you going for birding?
Cape Cod.
Right, Cape Cod's bigger than where. You're not going to tell me where on the Cape.
Yeah,
huh?
Wellfleet and Province Lands.
Great, bring us some oysters.
Yeah.
I may be in Wellfleet on my bicycle on Saturday. I'm leading a ride somewhere.
Oh, really?
On the South Shore. Yeah. Baltimore Orioles have been in town all week.
Oh yeah, yep, they're back.
The fruit trees are in bloom. Okay, guys, anything else? Hearing nothing, how about a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Krantz. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you. We'll do it once. Thanks, guys. See you in 13 days.